you're welcome to the third video in our series. Remember, we're talking your purpose and your power as a woman. In the first video, we looked at who are you as a woman. We talked about the fact that you're not an afterthought. We talked about the fact that you were introduced to the scene at the perfect time, and God built you up for the purpose of, your special assignment on earth, the purpose of companionship to the man and motherhood. In the second video, we looked at the powers that we have as women. We talked about the three powers: the power to do things, the power to make things happen, and then the power to make people do things. I spoke a lot more about the last two powers because we see a lot of women downplaying this, and my encouragement to you was to bring this out in your life, in your work, in your world, but bring it out in a positive way, because it's a strength and a power in you. The more you downplay it, the more you lose it. This video, we're talking about the hindrances. So what are the hindrances that stand in our path of living as purposeful, powerful women? And I want us to look at 2 Corinthians, where the Bible talks about, the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but they are mighty through God, for bringing down strongholds, casting away arguments, and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God. I mean, you can go and check it out. It's 2 Corinthians 10:4-6. But why am I stating this scripture? I remember then I was asking God, I said, so if we are seated in heavenly places, heavenly places, high places with you, then why am I pulling down strongholds? You don't pull down something that is under you, you pull down something that is above you. So are you trying to say that these strongholds are above me, or the devil and his people are above me and you in these spiritual high places? And there was something that he made me understand. So we are spiritual beings, and then we have been put in a body, and we are expected to take dominion of the earth. Our spirits in prayer would communicate with God. But the interesting thing is that, so when we communicate with God, and God gives us instructions, as the word puts it, you download from heaven. There's a bridge between what you've downloaded and then you actually taking dominion. That bridge is known as the mind. In that mind is where everything, the whole strongholds, the arguments, what does it mean really for us? So as a woman, you could have gotten an instruction from God saying, you're supposed to go out and then feed 1,000 people. You got the instruction, right? Yes. But between doing that, which is going to be you living in purpose, you doing what God has asked you to do, there will be those thoughts that keep coming into your mind. You can't do this. No woman in your family has ever done this. Have you ever seen a woman that did this? If you do this, you're going to pursue people away from you. If you do that, you're going to do this. And then fear starts to creep in. So one major hindrance to us living our lives as powerful, purposeful women is these strongholds which are in our minds. We need to learn to, transform our minds, renew our minds. We need to let go of the spirit of fear. It's interesting that, this is a video series that is happening. It should have happened like a week ago. But the truth is, I downloaded the instruction months ago. Did I act on it? No. Why? Because my mind kept showing me the different reasons why I couldn't do it. You've never faced a camera before. You've never done something like this before. Are you sure you want your face out there? And then it starts to scare you. So what if you go there and you forget what you're supposed to say? Or you go there and then saliva starts to form at the side of your mouth. There are different things that your mind keeps throwing at you. But the truth is that your mind is part of your body, and then we need to hold that mind and pull down those strongholds. The biggest stronghold, apart from the different thoughts that keep flooding our minds, is fear. So many women are afraid. You are afraid of what will my life look like when I actually do breakthrough and become this powerful woman. It's interesting. We are afraid of the bad things. We are afraid of the good things. You are afraid of what people will say. You are afraid of, okay, if I'm successful, how will people look at me? You are afraid of, if I fail, how would they would laugh at me? How will I be able to raise my head? And what if you don't fail? What if you actually do not fail? And so they don't laugh at you? What if you actually, become that big, powerful purposeful woman that God has proposed for you to be. And sincerely, there's no difference from who you are today in terms of your mind or your personality and how you relate with people. What God has planned for you as a purposeful, powerful woman is beautiful, beautiful beyond imagination. It won't hurt you, it won't kill you. So don't let the spirit of fear hold you back from translating those instructions that you've gotten into what you need to do. I remember when he talked to me about starting a business. This was 5 years ago. It took me 9 months to actually get my act together and actually start the business. I was so scared. I said, oh my God, I failed 4 times in business. If I fail again, this would be like the final blow to my confidence. Everybody would laugh at me. They would say, oh, Ifeoma is a hustler. She's just always doing one thing or the other. And I remember I told myself when I finally got my act together that I was going to start the business in January of 2012. December 31st of 2011 was my hardest crossover service. I could feel fear as if fear was a human being. But you see, fear, it will always come. And the same way we build up faith is the same way you take down fear. And that's what we're going to be talking about in the next video. Next video, we're going to be talking about how do you actually now start to live fully as this purposeful and powerful woman that has crushed the fears and the strongholds that are trying to hinder her from becoming who she should be.